Hello, and thank you for joining us again at the Game of Stones podcast. My name is Joe Alva, the CEO of Poseidon Industries, and I'm here with a good friend and customer since 2019. I have the honor of saying I am friends with Ricardo Cipriano from Go Mobile Flooring and Priano's Marble and Tile here in Tampa, Florida. And I have to say I've always been impressed by your age and everything that you've accomplished up until now in your career. I know that you started with Go Mobile Flooring, which is a project now that you're going to take national as a franchise. And I just wanted to start with like the beginnings also, because I know like me, you come from immigrant parents and pretty much came here with not much from Brazil. And let's start there. I know you told me that you came to the States in 2000. I think you were at the tender age of 11 years old.
Yeah, in 2000.
Right? You said you had just sprouted your first armpit hair or so?
Pretty much. I was in 2000. I was working in construction. I started as a helper, with a GC. I was doing all the labor work and got myself involved with more and more.
Well, wait a second. You said that you're 11. Before we get to the GC
not 2000.
part.
Yeah, not 2000. Yeah, it was.
Your first job was, we talked a little bit before the episode. You were a bagger.
Right.
Which I know what that's like, because you started at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Yeah.
I started in Aventura, which is a suburb of Miami, at a place. It had a more manly, masculine name than Publix. It was called the Unicorn. I'm joking. But I started at the Unicorn, which eventually got bought out by Whole Foods. I was a bagger too. I got promoted later on to head bagger. But go ahead. So you started at Publix. So you were a bag boy.
I was at Publix at first, and then I was in high school. I got a little side job in the construction as a helper.
While you're working at Publix?
I was working at Publix.
Got it. On the weekends or?
A little bit after school when I had days off, and then some on the weekend. Okay. Then I just started getting more and more involved.
How does a 14-year-old decide, I'm not happy enough with my bagger job, I want to go work for GC, and why?
I always liked
unless you had a master plan, because you thought,
I always liked the construction part of it. I always liked to see things being built and getting product developed.
Okay.
And my mom also had a little bit of background of remodeling properties in Brazil and building, and so I kind of was always around that, one way or another. So when we came here, and then we saw that as an opportunity, hey, I could be a helper, and I could.
Well, you came here just with your mom.
Yeah, my mom and my brother.
At 11.
Yeah.
Because my parents, they split up when I was about 10. I came from a mom working 3 jobs. So your mom was basically the mother hen, pretty much fighting to survive for her kids.
Yep.
And you saw her struggling, and you're like, let me lighten that burden, and let me see what I can do as fast as possible to help contribute to the household.
So then I basically started to do little side jobs here and there, and got myself more and more involved in the construction. The GC started giving me bigger projects, bigger assignments, and a little bit over 2 years I worked with him.
Okay.
And then started opening up more and more opportunities. I was still in high school, but then I had left Publix. I was just dedicated more into the construction side, after school.
How long were you at Publix by now?
At Publix, when I was till, I would say, 16.
So a couple of years you were at Publix.
Yeah, because Publix had a program.
So you got 2 years of getting experience with this guy.
Yeah, Publix had a program that you could work when you were a minor with very limited hours. So I started really in the beginning, and then 16 I worked a little more.
Got it.
And then the construction just kind of took me away from Publix, and construction is what I really enjoyed, as seeing the whole
project come together.
All the project coming together, and
right.
And I worked with this GC for a couple of years, and after working with him for a couple of years, I learned.
How much did he pay you? Was it a hourly rate? Or
I think it was around $7.50 or so. It was really a minimum wage at that time. Yeah, I think it was around that.
But you didn't care because it was getting paid.
Yeah, for me it was more I was.
Right, you're getting paid to do an internship. Let's say. Okay.
Basically that's how I looked at it. After that, there was my mom again talking to friends, and there was an opportunity to say, hey, my son could help remodel and help you with your project. And I took my first big project.
Because I met your mom. She's awesome, by the way. She's amazing.
She's
so she was your number one salesperson.
Yeah,
right?
she was.
She's
like my son could do anything, and that's what happened. The lady was like, here, I got in my condo. I just want to paint. I want to put some new floors in. Like, can you do it? Like, yeah, I can do it all. And that's kind of really what got me like motivated to like, man, I could really do this. And
man, I wish I would have known you back then when I was remodeling my properties. You would have done a good job, and it would have been like 50 cents.
It would have been $7.50 an hour.
It would have been like $7.50 an hour plus Taco Bell.
Yeah,
right? You would have been like, Taco Bell. I'm hosing this guy.
But it was great, and that's really what got me into really digging into construction. So I did remodel after that, like it was one project after another. And then around 2006, I was helping.
So you were 16, 17.
I was, the math right. Yeah, I was around, it was a little over 18 at that point. Yeah, so in 2006, I got one of my mom's friend said, hey, they're looking for a tile installer at this flooring company. And I was like, sure. I mean, I know how to lay tile, all this. And my mom was like, look, I think you should go because it'll be consistent work and you're going to do the same thing every day. You're really good at it. So when I got in there, I wasn't really looking to be like a tile installer, but I met the owner, and the owner was like, oh my God, you speak English, Spanish, and you really know the installation side of things. What about
you speak Spanish also?
Yeah.
So you speak Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then that gave me a huge opportunity. And she was, Denise was her name, and she's like, Ricardo, I'm going to give you a couple of jobs. And then I start taking it, and she's like, oh my God, your quality and the team, and it's amazing. So I worked there for about 6 years. And I really took from 1-2 jobs a day to about, 10, 15 jobs weekly.
Wow.
And I was doing all their tile, all their flooring, a lot of new construction.
And you're 18.
Yeah.
How much money are you making?
I was making a good chunk. I was taking probably about 300,000 at that time.
300K?
Yeah. I was managing a lot of guys, and I was doing.
That's more than now.
Yeah, I know. That's I should go back to the past. It was definitely like a different time, but sure. It was a good opportunity, and that's where my first vision of my own company came in. When I started working with clients, and they would come back to me, and they were like, "Hey, why doesn't the salesperson, bring flooring to my home?" And this always started because I actually something similar to this. I used to have a Sprinter van. And I used to have all my tools,
I bought one.
all my. I used to have all my tools and all my equipment in the van. And when I used to arrive to the client's house, they're like, "Oh my God, everything's so organized, everything is so neat. So why does the salesperson bring a van like this with all the samples in it instead of me having to drive to their showroom and go back and forth?" And I was like, you know what? I really started thinking about that. So what I did, it was I literally bought a Sprinter van. I was like, you know what? I'm going to change the entire interior of the van. And I'm going to make it a showroom.
A mobile showroom.
A mobile showroom. And that's where our first company was born, which was like mid-2012, which was Go Mobile Flooring. And literally clients would call, and I would bring the entire showroom to them. Not like just some sample, but they literally walk into the van.
This is still going on right now.
Yeah, we still have the Go Mobile brand. We actually slow down the sales a little bit because now we're going to expansion. We're going to franchising all over the U.S. So this makes it very easy and convenient for somebody like myself back in the days. I want to open up a business and, hey, I want to start selling flooring. I want to have my own company. Well, I have all the tools that they could just literally pick up the key.
Yeah, you don't want to sit there and put in the infrastructure, the branding, the this, the that, the marketing, the SOPs.
Right. It's very simple. So, and we have a platform that we developed with Oracle. It's all integrated, so they could just be on the field selling and just getting orders through.
So what level were you at when we met? Because I'm assuming that from the Go Mobile flooring and the tile and everything like that, then carpet, people started asking you for carpet, people started asking you for cabinets. You're already you're already in the home.
So yeah,
they're like, hey man, I really need to, a cabinet guy. Do you know that? And I'm like, man, why am I sitting here? So you probably subbed out a bunch of people in the beginning.
yeah. Well,
then,
in the beginning of 2012, when the brand was still being established, I want to make sure that the quality was there. I was the one in and out. I was the one assisting. I was the one doing the labor. And mainly our focus was on flooring, but I always had the background.
Hold on, 2012, you're how old?
2012, let's do the math. I was 20. I was
23?
20. Yeah, 23.
23. Wow. That's impressive, man.
So, and then that time, was the flooring was the focus. But then I had experience in cabinetry. I had experience in countertops. And
right, because you did all the GC
I did the GC work for a while. So then opportunities came in and they're like, hey, can you do my cabinets? Can you do my... I was like, sure. So I started sketching, I started drawing, I started buying cabinets, I started installing the cabinets myself. I used to use other vendors.
Now you're building all your experience in cabinetry for overseeing that or whatever, or eventually. So you get into cabinetry. Well, that leads to the granite, right?
Right.
Because you met us in 2019. Yeah.
And that was really when I was already with my other idea, which was the Priano brand, because at that time, business was really picking up. And we were doing so much business in flooring, cabinetry, and countertops at that point already. And
you're very punctual. You're very precise. You're very off screen. I've experienced seeing you in action with your clientele because I've had the pleasure of being at your amazing showroom, which I'll get into in a second. But you have a very high level of customer service orientation, which would only make sense that what I saw happening, which is people would be, okay, you probably saw, well, wow, I'm really good in the high-end realm, because people that are spending money, like a lot of coin on their cabinetry, their tile, their granite countertops, etc., those are high level people that have a high expectation, that are going to expect a certain level of service. And they saw, here I have this young guy doing that. So you started seeing, well, Priano is the path for the high level stuff. And so you probably dreamed about this showroom way before you ever did it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you knew that it was something that was needed. And that's what you were working towards the whole time as you're building the business, right? And
and it's interesting. I was talking to, our team. Like in my life, like we started Go Mobile. Prior to Go Mobile, I started really in the flooring business. Dedicated was 2006. Go Mobile was established in 2012. Priano was established 6 years later in 2018. And now, 6 years later, we established the Go Mobile franchising. So every 6 years seems like we're moving towards
into
another direction, which is great.
Category.
Never
ends, but
never ends.
Don't worry.
I know it's always coming up with something. But yeah, that's.
So in 2019, I think I can kind of take over from here and kind of like speak to the audience. But you contact Poseidon. We're up and coming. We already have the T-Rex, but I know you're looking for a bridge saw, which is what everybody else is. And then I'm kind of like, well, there's also CNC saws, and you purchase a CNC saw from us, and that's how we get started.
Correct. Yeah.
Backsplash machine, etc. We go through a path of learning where you're learning also countertop fabrication, and you're building. And I would say for all of our listeners out there, if you're in Florida or near Florida, or you come to Tampa or the west coast of Florida on vacation, hell, even if you come to Miami on vacation and you want to see the baddest ass, most impressive, and I've been all over the United States. We've sold in over 30 states. I've probably been in 900 to 1,000 showrooms, at least in my 24-year career. I'd probably say this is number one.
Well, thank you.
This is number one in terms of the quality of attention to detail, the quality of the finishes. This is a 2-story showroom. How many square feet? 20,000?
20,000.
20,000 square foot showroom located in downtown Tampa. It's really easy to fly here into Tampa Airport.
Oh yeah,
it's
we're
10
like
to
10
15
minutes. 10 minutes. Yeah, we're right by
Okay.
Midtown.
This showroom, and anybody who knows me and knows about my taste and my, let's say, experience with high-end luxury stuff, this showroom is amazing to bring anybody. They're going to be impressed. This has got amazing tile work, porcelain, and it's updated. Because today there's porcelain, there's Decton. You have Decton porcelain, quartzites, marbles. He has a section with the highest end carpeting, the highest end cabinetry.
But we have live kitchens. We do
Live
cooking
kitchens,
events. We do a lot of things here.
The showers. I've seen shower.
We have steam
samples,
showers too. Yeah, working steam showers.
I've seen showers that are coated with stone on the walls, on the ceiling, on the. I think I even saw you press a button, and a bunch of leprechauns come out and they start showering you with loofahs and stuff. No,
not that much, but yeah.
Almost. I mean, we're kind of there. Amazing bars, amazing concepts of kitchens. Like, how many kitchens are in there? Like,
we have 4 full kitchens.
Yeah, but those are like kitchens that belong in multi-million-dollar
Yeah,
mansions.
they're large size kitchens.
Yeah,
I mean, we like to display
ceilings.
a little bit of everything. Yeah, 12-foot high ceilings, and in some areas 10-foot ceilings.
Okay.
Because our idea is always to show and identify. You know, so if you walk into the space, you can see, just like if your home was 12-foot ceiling or 10-foot ceiling, you can see the difference.
And you guys have everything. I've seen a whole room with just faucet fixtures, right? Like bronze, silver, whatever.
Yeah, here we do everything with flooring,
pewter,
cabinetry, countertops,
bronze,
appliances.
Old, what's that called? The dark. It's like almost black, brownish.
Like a titanium.
Rotted iron or something, whatever. But it's amazing. You have all the finishes on the faucets and the plumbing. You have the showers. You got the tile. You got the carpet. You got the stone. You got the composites, right? You have the quartz, the porcelains, the all of those different materials. And then you have the lighting too, if I'm not mistaken. You got lighting in there.
We have exclusive brands that it's only to our line.
And you got really creative, and you said, okay, the builders or contractors or designers that are going to use us for all the finishes and presenting this showroom to their clientele, you actually put up second-story offices for them, right? To be able
this
to use,
is people like designers.
It's almost like WeWork.
It's exactly. It's a co-working space, but really for the trade.
Right.
So designers come in, builders come in.
Wholesalers, B2B, right? Obviously, you're not going to have like the retail customer there with their, drafter coming in. And so what I like about the concept is just it makes a lot of sense, where I know you've told me before, you have customers spending $500,000 or $1 million on a house. But now they can come to one place and basically turnkey operation. You guys do everything after the general tradesman work.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
Once
mostly
the stuff
the
goes
finishes.
done, the finishes. But you're talking finishes. When you say finishes, most people think, okay, tile, cabinets, countertops. You're talking finishes like tile,
cabinets, countertops, appliances,
Venetian plaster, lighting,
wall coverings,
cabinetry, fixing, plumbing, accessories, right? Because you guys do the little motors that will bring the TV up and down out of the cabinets. We could do that as well. And, and so the steam room, like you said, did you add cold plunges yet? Because that's becoming very popular.
Not yet. Well, we thought about it.
There you go. I just helped you out there. So Poseidon customer that would like to connect with you, you also are franchising now all over the country the Go Mobile Flooring franchise, right? Which is going to be Sprinter vans that are going to have showrooms, mobile showrooms. And so they can use that as a tool to get in with the flooring, and then they could offer, if they want to, which you don't care about, cabinetry and countertops.
Right. They could partner with Poseidon, shops, because they could sell the countertop and utilize some of those shops to help them.
Oh, absolutely. You're saying if they go, if they're in, let's say, Dallas, obviously, they probably are going to have our equipment. But you have a network, too, with your cabinetry and all of that. I'm sure you're working with national companies where you can get them involved in that as well. Right. I'm sure, right? Like ship cabinets to them, etc. So the sky's the limit, basically.
Yeah, anywhere in the United States, Canada, Hawaii. I mean, we we could ship it.
Right, you're getting set up. So that, well, congratulations first
Thank
of
you.
all, because that's an amazing feat. What tips would you give to fabricators that right now they're just doing countertops and they've kind of thought about, well, I want to do the cabinets, but that seems like a big headache, da 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 da, and maybe they're getting jobs from cabinet guys, so that's stepping on toes. I don't know if I want to get into that. Or maybe the same thing with the flooring, right? Like, do I want to get into the flooring because maybe the flooring guy's giving them a little bit of work?
I mean, I think it all comes down, and this is it started to me when I was in flooring. You know, when you want to be the best, you got to have the best equipment. And that's kind of how it got me with the countertop. When I was trying to find a brand and what product I should be buying, I did a lot of research, and I was like, well, I need an equipment that will last and an equipment that will be able to...
By the way, now you just placed your order for your, what number? Number 6 machine Poseidon.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way. I also, there's somebody over there behind the camera pointing a rifle at you. So thank you for saying that. But no, so you decided, you do your research. Obviously, you're somebody that does your due diligence in everything you do. And so if we have to say a message to fabricators or in general, in your business experience, what I'm gathering from what you're saying is focus on the quality first, on what's going to get me the best outcome, the best product in terms of cabinetry, flooring, etc. Because it might not be linking up with the local guy that's doing the flooring,
and
or
that's
the local guy that's doing the cabinetry. And what's the best option for the customer?
Right.
Because in my experience, also with what we do with Poseidon, in selling the best solution for making countertops, the highest quality machine, best warranties, lowest downtime, lowest cost of ownership. What goes with that is by default just finding the best solution, sticking to the best. So stick to the best quality, stick to the best solution, and see what partner can offer that for you.
Right.
And you believe that you can offer that solution for fabricators in terms of the flooring and the other services?
It's something that we developed over the years, how to perfect it from every step of the way, because that's the only way to go. Like, we couldn't do things that was really half-assed. It was just never, we couldn't be like everybody else. Oh yeah, it's just floors. It's just like, that's not how we see it. We see it, how can we make the process, the quality better, and deliver the best end result to the customer.
What other tips would you give to fabricators out there that are trying to elevate their business and trying to go to the next level and trying to create more profit? Because I feel like something else that I want to say, I try to pinpoint my customers' superpowers, right? Like, another thing that you're very good in is your marketing, like the Priano logo. Okay, when you walk into your showroom, and later on while I'm saying this, we're gonna be shooting the footage clips of the showroom, okay? Because we got here from, you're in Tampa, we're in Sarasota, so I was on the phone in the bus and I was on demonstrations. And of course I lost track of time. I had to go to the restroom. When are we gonna get there? I ran into the showroom. I made a joke to your receptionist. I was like, I'm looking for a sales position. And I was like, can I use your restroom? And I went to the restroom. I go into the bathroom. And I'm like, holy shit, this bathroom, this is like a $40,000 guest bathroom. High ceilings, porcelain everywhere, everything's mitered. The fixtures, you can tell, are unique. The way, just the style of the design emits high end.
Correct.
Okay? So what I want to say with that is that you definitely have an eye for that. And I think that fabricators in general, they don't reason that way. Because sometimes when you want to get in the marketplace, it's very difficult to build a name for yourself on quality and service. You got to get jobs. And when you do that in a hurry, you market yourself with being a low price.
Right.
Okay. And unfortunately, that's very difficult. That strategy is very difficult for you to scale a business. Okay. Because when you go in with a price that's low, you're basically, that's the only value you're offering to the market, is a low price.
Right.
But you'd be able to build in more price or more profit into the job if you offered a better service, better quality, you had a better quality kind
Right,
of mentality.
and that's what a lot of people don't say. They think it's always about shortcut, and
right.
and it makes a big difference on the quality. And I think that's why our name from the beginning is just people sort of recognize this, especially in the Tampa market.
So
for quality.
you've learned to kind of like understand that about marketing, about in general, just focus on, like we used to make when I started in Miami. It was a very cheap market selling sauce, bridge sauce. But I'm talking like I started like you, very young. I was 21 and a half. I sold my first machine at 22. But I'm in a market where it's literally probably the cheapest market with the most competition. Everybody giving away the work, working under the table, cash, right? There's a lot of cash going on, especially in Miami. We'll get into the history of Miami and why everything's cash. But anyway, and so people, they stick to price, and their price. They don't realize the value of offering value and offering service and getting that clientele, right? And so I guess what I want to ask you is, you probably have had to turn down a lot of work because when it came to price, you're not going to bend your rules because going down that road, there's no profit, there's no money, right?
Right.
Because people that expect a low price and like that's their number one priority.
Well, until today, we have a lot of builders, a lot of clients that come, and especially the ones that haven't really worked with us, they don't really understand like the differences yet, and they just like, oh, I could do it installer directly, or I could hire, this person on the side, or I could even go to this store and just buy my own product. They don't understand like the whole package we put together and why we stand behind everything we do. So literally they come in.
And you're selling convenience, right?
Convenience like as well. And we have a team behind it. And we have a team behind it. Now when we come in to handle a project, we have an operation team, we have a coordinating team, we have project management. There's multiple layers to make sure we deliver the highest quality and make sure we deliver on time. So when they try to shortcut that,
right,
and then they come back later, here you see them in the back of the showroom like, hey, we needed to buy everything from you guys. And we're like, oh, what happened? Oh, well, it didn't work out, me hiring this guy and buying this product, because we already know, we experienced this is what the industry we've been in, and we know the challenges, and we were able to fix them, but people still try to like deviate from that, and they end up coming back for that solution that we offer.
Right. You're telling them, well, I think that the bad habit that builders have, and as a contractor, you're used to beating everybody up.
Right.
Right? The tile guy, the carpet guy, you're used to shaving it off a little bit, and then they try to emulate that in the cabinetry, mm-hmm. And then they forget, hey, I'm doing a high-end job. Does it really matter? I always joke around, like, no builder ever said, I wish I hadn't spent $15,000 on the kitchen for that property. I wish I would have spent $10,000, right? Because at $10,000, that's a huge difference to the fabricator, but it's not that big of a difference to the builder, contractor, right. Remodeler, whoever, the renovator.
And it's very minor that they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a huge difference to what your countertop quality is going to be like, right? And so I think that that's very important to emphasize for everybody out there. Focus on quality. Focus on giving better service, better quality, a better quality product first. Because I still have salespeople that they come out and they're saying, hey, we need to offer a cheaper saw because our Lotus is the most expensive bridge saw in the market. And I go, yeah, but it's 5 times better than a saw that we would sell for 50 grand, right? Same thing with the CNC routers or the T-Rex solution, which is a complete innovative solution. People are like, our sales guys are like, hey man, we need 5-axis CNC saws, we need 3-axis routers. No, we don't have to do what everybody else is doing if we believe in what we're doing.
Right.
Right? Tesla isn't making gas cars to satisfy the gas car soccer mom van, right? They're not trying to compete with an Odyssey, with the Honda Odyssey. Okay? They stick to what they believe in. They're trying to offer a better quality product that doesn't have all this maintenance, right? And so I think the idea is focus on quality and service. Keep your price high. Learn to say no, which is more like a sales conversation, right? Sales consulting, sales strategy. I think a lot of problem in general in the construction industry. whether you're a tile guy, a carpet guy, don't take the job out of desperation. Say no. Learn to say no. If somebody says, hey, I can get this installed with the material for $2.50 a square foot, and you're at $3.50 a square foot for $1
Yeah.
on, let's say, 500 square feet, you're gonna not go with this guy, you know?
Well, and a lot of times, like, the difference is so minor, and they don't realize what they're really losing with that difference. And
But if you stopped, and in a nice way, I'm not saying say no, like, no, screw you,
Yeah.
pay $500 more. I'm saying, you're right, they are cheaper, but this is what I'm gonna do for you more. First of all, I'm talking about $500, because a lot of people don't. They get stuck with the battle,
right.
right? So they're like, oh, how much is it really in the whole job? $500. Look, I'm $500 more, but you know what? I'm gonna come back twice to your house to check in on you and make sure you don't have any problems. 30 days after I'm done with the install and you're moved in, and 60 days after, for example, because what would that cost you, right? If you're the carpet company. I'm just being creative here.
Yeah.
Right? Like Poseidon now, we're offering, because we're in our family of companies, we're very blessed that we have this consulting company. Kaplan Consulting, John Kaplan, you've met.
Yep.
Founder of the Rockheads. He's a major authority in shops and building shops up and making them more profitable and production efficiencies. And he's a great human being on top of that. And so with that package, we created something where we're offering small consulting packages, because really in the blue collar industry, I feel like it doesn't come with a handbook like how to be a businessman.
Right.
Like you can be a great tile installer and all of that, but all the things that you become have, like the times where you've leveled up has probably been from networking or speaking with other people that were not in your industry that were better business people, and we're like, dude, why don't you franchise that?
Yeah.
You're like, right? I mean, I don't even know. You've never even told me.
That's literally what happened. I mean, we had clients come in. Well, so I wasn't looking to franchise, and in the beginning, people always say, "Is this a franchise? Is this a?" No, it's not. No, it's not. And until I was really into Priano, when we had literally a couple people call me, and it's like, "Hey, would you be willing to sell Go Mobile?" And I'm like, "Selling Go Mobile? Like, why would like, you know?" So they actually counter Priano, but they know Go Mobile exists, and they want to buy Go Mobile. I'm like, "No, I'm not selling Go Mobile." But then it made me think, like, "Oh wow, holy shit! Like, that's what we should be doing." Like,
right.
And that's where like the whole idea,
and it'll be much more valuable.
Yeah.
Once it's a franchise, etc.
And it's all
it's
part
already
of,
a proven concept, so why not multiply it or duplicate it?
So it was the perfect idea. So that kind of inspired me even more. Like, man, we built, because I mean, ultimately, the way I always looked at it, Go Mobile is such a success. That's what built Priano. Was from Go Mobile that built Priano. So it's a proven concept. It's a proven business.
No, which Priano is amazing. Like I said, they're going to be seeing the footage while we're having this conversation. Everybody in the stone industry is going to know who you are. But I think that brings another conversation into the mix where we're talking about networking, talking to people outside of the industry. Because let me tell you, like, you've also seen our progress in our evolution online nationwide since 2019. We were more local back then, right? And then you saw where I was twisting your arm, and I was like, dude, you got to get a T-Rex. Trust me, you got to get a T-Rex. Trust me, you got to get it. Once you get a T-Rex, you won't be interested in all the other machines. And you've literally been sitting front row seat watching this whole thing play out. And now we're the world's fastest solution for making countertops, just from pushing the envelope. But I'm going to say that a lot of that wisdom, or some of the ideas, I got from the importance. I want to also emphasize in this episode, like, the importance of networking.
Yep.
Right? How much great advice did you get from networking and opening your mind up to asking for help? Number one, that's something we don't do, right? We don't ask for help because we think, because what got us to where we are was not listening to anybody that told you go be a lawyer, doctor, whatever, right? So because of that, we kind of closed our minds up a little bit. But at a certain level, we got to open them back up again, because you and I can grind and we can be amazing and we can be great CEOs and be super dynamic. But I've noticed in general, just by networking and talking to people and other customers and friends like you, everybody hits a plateau right when they break like 10 to 15 million. Right, that's the most difficult to get past, is the 10 to 15 million mark. Everybody kind of just like the brakes are down, because that's where you literally don't have the bandwidth or the time anymore to put more hours in to just grind and carry everybody to the next level. Right, basically. And so what's helped me now strategize differently, where we're starting to get past it and see how to do it, is networking outside of this industry. So that's where Poseidon has tried to create events where we bring people from outside the industry into a yearly event for our customers and friends and sponsors called the Poseidon Experience, which
that's a great event.
You went to the first one.
Yep.
We had 3 more since then. Which one?
I missed the last one.
You missed the last one, but you went to how many so far?
I went to 2.
2. Okay, so you 2 for 4.
2 or 4 or so. 50%.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But did you see the power of that?
Oh yeah.
Like, just talking to a guy from North Carolina, from Georgia, from Texas, from California, like all guys that have the same equipment and have the same struggles, challenges with their businesses that you do. Just listening to people you get, and then we bring people from outside of the industry to speak about marketing, speak about fitness, speak about mental health, speak about all different topics that can be useful. I feel like that really allows us to expand our knowledge base, give us some ideas for the future, but also re-energize us, right?
Right.
Because you're not alone. Like, if anything you learned, because it can be lonely, right? Like, I don't know about you, but me, before I started doing those events, I would feel a lot better just talking with my customers, because they had the same challenges that I did, right? It's kind of like a lonely road, because right now you're not going to make buddies. You're not going to have a pickleball team that's like other countertop fabricators in Tampa, or flooring guys in Tampa, or guys that do what you do. None of them are going to hang out with you, because you guys are all competing for the same chick, basically, right? It doesn't allow for a lot of camaraderie when you're doing like local business, right, in the construction trade. So I figured, hey, let's do an event where everybody can come together, hang out, have a good time, share information, grow, learn from each other, and let's see where that goes. And I know that you're like me in the sense that you're super busy, right? You're kind of like horse blind because you got so many projects in front of you. So you do very few networking things. I started networking recently, like probably past couple of years. And let me tell you, man, it's helped me out tremendously. Where I feel like, had I not done all the networking, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, scaling the business and heading towards that vision for 9 digits in gross revenues. With that being said, is this your first podcast interview?
It is, yeah.
Ever?
First one. You forced me into it, so here I am.
You almost were about to walk away. I had to resell you, man. It was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It was like the first T-Rex sale. I really appreciate you coming on and spending the time. Was it as tense or?
No, it was easy. Easy to talk to, and I mean, it's all, experiences and things we lived in the past, so it's definitely easy to.
And I think it's important for you to share your story, because it's a great story. I mean, there's not a lot of people that at 11 years old come to this country, get a job at Publix to help their mom. And I had no idea before today that was your first job. That was my first job. Like, that was my first full-time job, consistent job. I was a pancake at the IHOP because my mom was working nights, and I asked her to get me a job there for the weekends. So for like 5 or 6 weekends, I donned a pancake costume, which we're about the same. How tall are you?
5'10".
I'm 5'10". So I'm actually 5'10" and about a 16th. But I would have been 6 feet. But when I put this pancake costume on, it had this huge, like 30 pound, felt like 30 pounds foam block. And so if you can imagine a pancake costume's like this, and the block is all the way on the top here. And here's the happy face on the outside. So the block sits on the person's head so that you're able to see through the happy face, which is like a mesh netting. And then it's got holes for you to put your arms through, so you can wave at people on the street.
Have your
Okay,
pancake.
that was my pancake costume. But I did it for 6 weeks. But I did it at an age where I was in 7th grade. I was 12 years old, or 8th grade, maybe the beginning of 8th grade. I was waving at people. But this pancake costume, compared to my body weight, must have been like 30% of my body weight. And so it was a lot of weight to be on my head for 4 hours, Saturdays and Sundays. I should have been 6 feet tall, at least. But I'm convinced that this pancake costume weighed me down a little bit and stunted my growth and left me at like just 5'10". Okay, because I got these huge gorilla arms that look, this is my foot, right? Look at this. Who can put their palm on the top of their foot? Seriously. But anyway, so that was my first job. Then I was a bag boy at the Unicorn. What are the chances that we both started off as bag boys
Yep,
at the grocery store? Right?
that's true.
Who knew? But it's a great story, coming from nothing in the greatest country in the world, son of immigrants, right? And now you've been able to build up a multi-million-dollar business. You own multi-million dollars in real estate, and you're only 39 years old.
Not 40 yet, no.
Thanks
Almost there.
for rubbing that in for us that have hit the 4th floor. But I'm very happy to be a part of watching your progress front row and being a part of that success. So, and thank you for coming on
Yeah,
the
thank you.
podcast, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for your friendship. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.